There are things in the world we know little about, like the mind, ESP, paranormal, UFOs, spiritual, and self, to name a few. One of them I find very hard to understand is self. We as human beings have the ability to reach for the stars and yet have the ability to dish out horrible treatment to our fellow humans, and it all begins with self. We each think that we know ourselves, but from what I have seen, most of us don't, and that includes me. When I think about it, many times in my life, what I thought I would do was not what I did. One thing that gets me is that there are over 6 billion selves out there, and each think they know themselves. When I was young, I once had a thought that puzzled me. Why was I me and not somebody else? What made me, me? In all the universe there was only one me, and I was in a body that I did not choose or do not think I did. Self is a reality that's not easily understood. Growing up, I've always learned stuff about myself. Like when I was mad, I'd lash out at whatever was at hand, like punching a wall or being nasty to someone who had nothing to do with it in the first place, and it would make me feel better, and I had no idea why. If someone had told me 10 years ago that I'd be doing videos and making a radio show, I would have told them that they were crazy, shut up and pass the joint. Being an old man, I still don't know myself. Now that don't sit good in my mind. So I begin to wonder, was there any other selves out there that had the same thought? Well, after all 6 billion selves out there, I'm sure there are few. From what I've seen, the ones who spend time around you seem to know yourself better than you do. So I asked a few questions and was not happy with what I heard. But I did think about it, and they were right. Now this just don't seem right, that others would know yourself better than you'd know yourself. This made me think harder about it. I found dark spots in my mind that I did not like. I begin to see how ourselves could do the terrible things to others. The dark side is greed, hate, and fear, and the light side is compassion, forgiveness, and love. The majority of the selves out there are a nice shade of gray. To move ourselves closer to the light side, we must each know our dark side. By doing this, I no longer slip to the dark side as much. But let me warn you, just when you think you know yourself again, damned if you won't do the opposite of what you thought. Once you understand some of the dark side of yourself, you can see the real value of the light side. After all, you can bring light into a dark room, but you can't bring dark into it without first putting out the light. So if you keep the light side of self bright, the dark side has no hope. Each of the selves out there need to look within themselves, and there they will find the power to do anything, from reaching to the stars to feeding the children of the world. So please get to know yourself. Other selves of the world will be glad you did. I'm not telling you what to think. I'm just telling you what I think my reality is. I hope I have given you something to think about. I thank you for your time. Have a good day.